Good evening, this is KM7G. If you're looking at the slides on the ERC website, it says preparing for emergency communications as a family. This is not so much about radio tonight, it's more making plans in case there's an emergency, and a little more about phones and cell phones. So how will you contact family members or other people, such as emergency personnel, during or after an emergency? Will your family members know what to do? Let's go to slide 2. Understand how power outages may affect your landline service. Now, I know a lot of us don't have landline service anymore, but I still thought I'd keep that in here. Know what type of landline telephone service you may have. Is your telephone service provided over broadband connection, such as voice over internet protocol or VoIP, or is it traditional landline telephone service, which is typically powered over copper telephone lines? And if you don't know, ask your service provider if you're unsure. Broadband-enabled telephone service will not work during electric outages without a battery or other backup power source. If you have a battery, test it periodically. Understand how long it should last. Learn how to replace it and consider having a spare that you can charge before a storm. If you do not have a battery or other backup power source, ask your provider where you can purchase one. Traditional telephone service may work during electric power outages, so you may need to use a corded phone. Many cordless home phones rely on electric power to operate. Let's go to slide 3. Charge your cell phone, laptop, or tablet if a severe storm is coming. Also, consider keeping extra batteries, a solar charger, and or car charger handy where you can get to it. In the event of a power outage, you may be able to connect to the internet using a secure Wi-Fi if it is available nearby. You may also be able to use your charged laptop or tablet to recharge your cell phone by connecting the device with the USB cable, though doing so may drain your computer's battery power. Let's go to slide 4. Be prepared to monitor news and emergency broadcasts during power outages. Consider a battery-powered radio to check news broadcasts for emergency information during power outages. Make sure you have charged or fresh batteries if needed. You can also purchase a solar-paneled or hand-cranked radio, which may also be used to charge cell phones, so you should first check the instruction manual. Let's see slide 5. Create a family emergency plan. First of all, identify potential emergencies. Determine which emergencies, like natural disasters, fires, or medical issues, may affect your family with attention to local risks. Establish communication plans. Decide how family members will communicate during an emergency. This includes identifying a primary contact person and ensuring everyone knows how to reach them. Store emergency contacts safely and on every family member's phone. Create evacuation routes. Plan and practice evacuation routes from your home and identify safe meeting points. Ensure that all family members are familiar with these routes and know designated meeting locations in the event of separation. Prepare an emergency kit. Assemble a family emergency kit that includes essential supplies such as water, non-perishable food, first aid supplies, flashlights, batteries, and important documents. Regularly check and update the kit to ensure everything is in working order. Conduct regular drills. Practice your emergency plan with your family at least once or twice a year. This helps everyone understand their roles and responsibility during an actual emergency. Educate family members. Teach all family members about the emergency plan, including children. Discuss the importance of preparedness and what to do in various scenarios. Stay informed. Keep up to date on local emergency services and resources. Participate in community preparedness programs to stay informed about potential hazards in your area. Let's go to slide 6. Sign up and receive alerts and warnings. Sign up to receive alerts and warnings to your phone or mobile device from your local government, school, and or workplace. I know we do here in Madison County. I can get those alerts, and if you contact your county, you could get on the list if you're not. These local alerts can add to the wireless emergency alerts you received over your mobile phone, and the emergency alert system alerts you receive over television and radio. Let's see slide 7. This is KM7G for ID. Create in case of emergency contact on your wireless phone. Store at least one emergency contact under the name of in case of emergency for all mobile phones and devices. This will help someone identify your emergency contact if needed. If something happens to you, they could see where to call. Enter household and emergency contact information into all household members' mobile phones or devices. Let's go to slide 8. Inform your emergency contact of medical issues. Inform your emergency contact of any medical issues or other requirements you or a family member may have. Let's go to slide 9. Create an emergency contacts list on mobile phones and devices. Create a group list on all mobile phones and devices of the people you need to communicate with if there is an emergency or disaster. Write down phone numbers for emergency services, utilities, service providers, medical providers, veterinarians, insurance companies, and other services. Let's go to slide 10. Make sure family and other contacts know how to send mobile text. I know that seems very basic, but especially younger members of the family may not know how to send text, and just ensure whole household members and your out-of-town contacts know how to text if they have a cell phone and mobile or a mobile device. As we all know, if power's out or if there's an emergency, you may not be able to use your cell phone with your voice, but you might be able to text. Let's go to slide 11. Download the FEMA app. It's available in English and Spanish, and it's for disaster resources and to receive weather alerts, safety tips, and reminders so you can have peace of mind and be ready for the unexpected. The FEMA app provides a customizable checklist of emergency supplies and directions to open shelters. You can also set reminders to take important steps to prepare your home and family for disasters, such as changing your smoke detector batteries and practicing fire escape plans. The FEMA app is available for download on the Apple App Store and Google Play. Let's go to slide 12. During an emergency, if you have call forwarding on a landline phone at home, considering forwarding those calls to your wireless number in the event of an evacuation. This may help you continue to receive incoming calls to your home telephone number. Let's go to slide 13. Limit the non-emergency phone calls if there's a disaster. This will minimize network congestion and free up space for emergency communications. If you do need to make a call, try to keep it brief and only convey vital information to emergency personnel and or family. Limiting calls also conserves cell phone battery power. Let's go to slide 14. Try texting in non-emergency situations. For non-emergencies, try text messaging from your cell phone. Text messages on other wireless devices may go through when your call may not. So there may be a delivery delay during times of network congestion. And you can also text to 911 in certain locations. And so you can check ahead on the availability. Let's go to slide 15. Adjust your cell phone to conserve battery power. Check your wireless device or owner's manual for ways to conserve battery power, such as dimming the brightness of your display screen and disabling certain applications. If you have difficulty accessing your wireless network, consider connecting to Wi-Fi service if your phone is Wi-Fi capable. If the wireless network in your area is damaged and you do not see any signal bars on your phone, consider turning your phone off to prevent the battery from draining as your phone seeks a usable wireless signal. If your electricity goes out and you don't need to use your phone right away, you may be able to disconnect the battery to prevent it from draining and plug it back in when you need to receive or make calls. Once power is restored, plug the battery back in so you can recharge it. Just one note, removing the battery from a late model cell phone can be a difficult process and may damage the battery or phone if not done correctly. It is harder nowadays. Let's go to slide 16. Call 911 for emergencies. Teach the family members when it is right to call 911. And learn and use the designated number in your state for highway accidents or other non-life-threatening incidents. And there are non-emergency numbers to call, the sheriff, police, the highway patrol, and so forth, that you can call and not use 911 if it's not an emergency. Okay, let's go to slide 17. Wait 10 seconds before redialing calls that don't connect. If there's an emergency or we're in a hurry or, things just aren't going right, redialing a call multiple times in quick succession can increase network congestion, further limiting the ability of all users to place calls. If you must make a call, space out your call attempts. If evacuated, from your home, forward your home number to your wireless phone. Okay, let's go to slide 18. And that's mostly about phone. Like I said, it's not so much about two-way radio tonight, but it's some plans that the family can make to be more prepared. Do we have any questions or comments tonight?
KB7I to you, Keland.
Go ahead, Steve.
A great presentation. So I found out the other day something that I didn't know, and it's influenced the way that my thoughts on Starlink, for instance. Now this is to go along with what you're talking about as well. But I found out that fiber has to have every so many miles along the line, and so if you lose power, you also lose internet through fiber, which I did not know. I didn't have any idea that's how that went. But they have to have power boost every so many. I'm not sure how it works or anything like that. But anyway, that was something I found out. And where I run, Echolink and a gateway for WinLink, I'm thinking about going, with Starlink, and it's cheaper than what my service is right now. So KB7I to you, back to net.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate that. This is KM7G. Any other questions or comments?
B7HTH.
Go ahead, Britt.
Yes, run into this one problem, and this is for those of you that have relatives that are homebound and they have one of these call alert boxes is, when you're setting up that service, also set your phone up so that it will ring through like at hours, like when you're asleep or something. It's very important, and they can get a hold of you. Over.
Okay, very good, Brett. I appreciate that. Any other comments?
N7RGW.
N7RGW. Go ahead, Larry.
It's been noted that some of the new cell phones have an emergency situation that if you do not have any connection to your cell phone, it does have an SOS capability, or some do, of connecting through Starlink or that system to send text messages. So even if you're out in the woods and you have no cell service, you may be able to get an SOS out through your cell phone.
Okay, thank you, Larry. I appreciate that. Any other comments?
KC7JXF.
KC7JXF, go ahead.
A couple answers for Steve there. I have worked in the internet industry and I'm familiar with fiber optic. The reason that fiber needs power every number of miles is the signal can only go so far, usually 30 to 40 miles at a time at best, before it gets too weak. And then it has to go through an active device like a router or a switch, which receives that signal and retransmits it fresh. That active device, of course, requires power. This is usually done at a dedicated communications site, switch house or switching office, which almost without exception have battery backup or on-site generators. However, during an extended power outage, those battery backups can become exhausted, maybe in 8 to 12 hours, and then you will lose service regardless of whatever other arrangements you may have in your home.
Okay, very good. I appreciate that. Any other comments tonight?
K5STF Alpha Alpha.
Was it STF or something like that? I had a double there.
David, Kilo Echo 5, Sierra Tango Foxtrot. As a Starlink user, I have a dish on my roof, and I got an email this month saying that they are giving me a Starlink Mini for emergencies with a $5 a month usage fee. So if you have Starlink as a primary internet or as an internet carrier, just double check your email to see if you can get a free Mini. There were many thousands sent out at no cost to hurricane victims in North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida after Hurricane Helene, and that was significant in their communications. I don't know if that will work with Wi-Fi calling, but I'll have to give that a try. As far as using Starlink to make text messages, that service is available depending on your carrier, but and that's typically T-Mobile. But you have to be outside of a coverage map area. So even if you don't have service and you fall within the map of that service plan, you cannot text a message with Starlink. You need to be outside of that service. Back to net control.
Okay, thank you. We had another comment.
Kilo Mike 4, Quebec Alpha Alpha.
Go ahead.
Yes, I want to ask if anybody has actually done this, because I'm fairly new and haven't. We talk a lot about having traffic. If I wanted to get on a UHF, VHF net and send a message to my sister in North Carolina, and I know that in the next couple of days she will log into a 2-meter net, how exactly would I go about doing that? And has anyone actually done that?
Any comments or questions there? There might be ways to do it digitally or with HF, but I don't know about UHF or VHF. One more chance for comments on that.
KB7ITU.
Go ahead, Steve.
You might have to get on multiple traffic nets, both digital and voice, and find out if there's any stations that can relay a message out of the affected area into the other states or whatever. Usually traffic nets have several different ways of moving traffic, and a lot of them handle it digitally. And the traffic nets, a lot of them will know the route to take to get the information out. But you may have to go to several different traffic nets, and I would suggest in an emergency you do one that you get on one that is a nightly occurrence or a daily occurrence, and there's several of them. There's a farm net, there's a Wyoming cowboy net, there's the beehive net. You know, they'll all have ways to forward the traffic over.
Okay, thanks, Steve. Any other comments on that question?
One more comment, if I could.
Go ahead.
So it would behoove you, Paul, in my opinion, and this is just something that I would do if it were me. If I had family, which I do out of the area, I would find out who the closest ham radio operator in that area is, and make plans to communicate with him through a licensed amateur radio operator in this area, right? So, you know, there's more than one way to do it. I mean, I wouldn't just limit it to that, but I would. That's one of the ways I would do it, along with the traffic nets, KB7ITU.
Quebec Alpha, did you have anything else on that? Quebec Alpha, did you have any question? Further question on that?
Not at this time. I'll get with Steve and see what we can work through, because the devil is in the details, as you well know. This is Kilo Mike 4 Quebec Alpha Alpha, back to net control.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments before we close tonight? Okay, appreciate all the comments and questions. This is KM7G. I'll turn it back to Steve. Heaven's sake, Steve, I got a mental block here. IHV, go ahead.
Thank you, Keland. Great job tonight. And that mental block is floating around. Be careful. I've got the same issue. There was one other comment that was coming in, too. That comment, like to go ahead? Maybe there wasn't a comment. I thought there was. Okay, again, Keland, thank you. That was very much needed training. That's something that we quite often don't spend any time on, but, you know, families come first. So getting our act together in this, or having the capability of communicating within our family, that's really important. Comes before what we're doing.
KB7ITU, KM4 QAA.
Go ahead, Paul, KB7ITU.
Hey, Steve, thanks for the answer. And in general, I know what you're talking about. I was trying to fish to see if somebody had actually passed messages that way. And I presume, like with if I'm on a 2-meter net, if there's somebody there who has HF capabilities, and they're on an HF net, and they've got their antennas and everything, then they could take the message and get that across country by HF and into a local net where my sister, who is a licensed operator, could be contacted. But I just don't know the specifics of that, whether or not it really works and how long it might take.
Well, I can't remember how long it took, but I had a local here in the Plano area that had a son that was serving a mission. I don't remember even where it was. It's been so long ago. And she asked me if there was a way. They'd had an earthquake down there, and they had no communications into the area. And they asked if I had any way of getting in touch with them, and we did make a contact. And I don't remember how long it took to get back, but you know, you got to be a dedicated operator and check in every evening until the message comes back, right? Or make arrangements of how they can get in touch with you, you know, either by phone or, you know, however. But I have passed message traffic that way, but I don't remember how long it took. Yeah, and if it had, you'd have to go HF. There's no way to do it on VHF, of course. There's and WinLink is a great way to do it because you can get out of the affected area on WinLink where the internet may be down, and establish an internet link, from state to state that way too. So that's a valuable tool in an emergency. Go ahead.
Yes, I think you're right, and of course, with a PACE plan, primary, alternate, contingent, and emergency, you'd have those lined up. I have a Starlink Mini, and I think I can send both. I can do an internet call through the Starlink with my phone equipment, and I can send text. But I need to test that again to be sure. But that would be definitely my alternate. My primary would be normal cell phone, normal voice and text. Then my alternate would be, that's down. Let's get up the Starlink, because then that would arrive at the other phone just per normal. After that, there are more hoops to jump through.
Well, and that's why we're trained to use whatever form of communication works the best and the fastest at any given time, right? So amateur radio is definitely not the only backup. You use you use conventional means first, and then if that fails, then you step up to amateur radio and that kind of thing. So, but I used to check into the traffic nets all the time, and I used to stand in on the hurricane nets up through the central part of the United States there all the time, and I used to do a lot of traffic handling, and I do the Morse code traffic nets as well. And at that time we were passing traffic. There was birthday wishes or hello moms going out all the time, and all kinds of stuff all the time that we were doing. Now with the with the internet and the cell phones and the Starlinks and all that kind of stuff, they're still traffic nets, but they don't use them as much as they did back then. KB7I to you.
Well, Steve, here's the thing too. We've got tremendous repeaters around here, and we've got that Rocky Mountain intertie. So if through that system I could get talking to somebody who's down in Texas, their phone might be just working perfectly, and so if I could get in voice contact with them, I could give them a phone number and have them call my sister. Now, if her phone is out, then that won't work. But I think there are a lot of possibilities to explore.
Well, I've had people hand deliver messages to me. I've received birthday cards, QSL cards, birthday cards delivered to my door. Because they didn't have a way to contact me by phone because they didn't know my phone number, so they delivered it by hand. But yeah, I don't know that the intertie goes down into Texas. I don't believe it does. But boy, that's a very vulnerable link system. You get an earthquake and they take out a couple of linked repeaters, and you're in sad shape.
Yeah, I think you're right. But, if it is still up, we could use it. When you talk about a traffic net, though, is that something I can put in the internet and search for traffic nets, or is something like the farm net something that would be a traffic net because it's HF and it goes around the country?
Yeah, the farm net and the Wyoming Cowboy net is a national traffic net. They're both national traffic nets. Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, I can't remember what it is. Anyway, I'd have to look it up, but that's CW net. That's a national traffic net. Any national traffic net can forward information, and I don't know the digital ones right off the top of my head. I'm ashamed of myself for not knowing that. But there is digital national traffic nets. I know that KD7UM in Utah is part of a digital traffic net for handling message traffic and stuff like that. So there are digital traffic nets as well.
Okay, I'm trying to look something up here on the internet about a list of national traffic amateur radio net, and so I'll do a little research on that. So, but it behooves me to have a card or something with some net names and frequencies and operating times to get to them. Again, I think it's a little complicated.
Well, it's not that. It's not complicated. It's you just got to know the frequency and the name and the time, and it's not hard to get into a traffic net. I have two of them listed: the Montana Wyoming Cowboy Net and the Idaho Farm Net is both listed on the nets that I sent out. I think you got it. I sent it out. It's a spreadsheet with with all the nets and stuff on it. I sent that out to a lot of people. I thought I sent it to you as well, but it's just a spreadsheet on Google Sheets. But there's also a Montana Cowboy Net. There's traffic nets galore. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, again, this gives me something to get moving a little bit on, and it looks like the ARRL net directory may be key to that. And of course, I'm not an ARRL member, and maybe that would be a reason to be a member.
You bet. Well, there's also, weekly nets that are not national traffic nets, but they are traffic nets. They can take your message and forward it to a national traffic system. The Mercury Amateur Radio Net on Saturday mornings can do that. There's a couple of them that are just weekly nets that you can do that with. So, well, if you have any questions, give me a call, and I'll see if I can help you get a list together. Over.
Okay, Steve, thanks a lot. And this is where it's real good to have somebody like you who's been around forever and forgotten more stuff than I even have heard of. Because, like I say, I am still very much a newbie in amateur radio. I do the things I do on a weekly basis, but all that other stuff I don't know anything about. So thanks for being willing to help, and I will get in touch with you as I can. This is KM4QAA. I'll let you go, Steve, but I'll be listening for just a minute.
All right, good evening to you, Paul. Have a great evening. 7-3, KB7ITU.